Peru. Chicago, London, Seattle, Blythe, California. Texas, UK, Iowa. Man. Earth. Puerto Vallarta. Wait, John, you don't live there, do you? Well, I'm in the Atlanta area. And it's cold here. You guys got a bunch of snow up in the Northeast? Are you guys snowed in? Chilly 74. Oh, cool. All right. So I got another question. What you doing here today? What brought you to this event today? It got quiet. Where'd everybody go? Curiosity. Okay, so making money, make a million. I want to be a. Okay, so that's a very typical answer. Want to make a lot of money. Wouldn't it be better to learn something first? Like to actually gain a skill? And so wouldn't learning a skill kind of be a higher priority than making money? And hopefully, if you learn that skill, then you can apply that skill just like anything else in life. You can apply a skill towards earning an income. Okay? So it's interesting how many people talk to me about money. Well, one, you got to have one before the other, right? I mean, nobody's going to hire me to be an architect if I don't know how to be an architect. So you kind of need to learn some skills before you can decide that those skills are good enough to generate an income. So I already knew the answer to the question that a lot of people are looking to make a lot of money or to make money or this is about money. So it's always interesting to me that developing skill is never really something people think they need coming into trading. But I'm here to tell you that it's absolutely necessary. And I'm going to kind of try to enlighten you a little bit on why. And we're going to talk about this 2 ticks idea. And then we'll move on from there. Okay, so here's some rules to what we're going to be doing today. I have a little chat here, and you guys are welcome to just chat away on. Uh-oh, everybody can still hear me, right? Okay, yeah, she needs to. Okay, cool. All right. So here's how this is going to work. I have a presentation I want to get to, and I don't want to get distracted by comments in the chat, okay? It's real easy for somebody to take me completely off course because they have questions or they make comments or whatever. Very easy for me to get distracted because I want to make sure everybody gets their questions answered. But what happens is they go off track, excuse me, onto something that may not be interesting to most people. So, I will not be reading the chat. If you have questions, feel free to type them into the chat. Praveen and Connor are here, and they're more than happy to answer your questions that you have related to what we do in the trade room and how we trade and things like that. All right. Now, if you have a question specifically for me, just hold that question until the end, and I'll take a few minutes and we'll answer questions at the end of the presentation, okay? Deal? All right. So at this point, if you ask a question and I don't answer you, it's because I don't see it. All right? All right. So this two-tick thing, we were talking, and we have a group mentoring session every Wednesday, and we were talking in the group, and by and large, everybody in the group said that this particular presentation was the one that got them to better understand what it was they were trying to accomplish in trading and how to go about getting there. That this particular presentation was the big eye-opener for them. Certainly we can't do this presentation every time. We do it about once every 10 months or so. So it's been about 10 months, and so we're gonna do it again, and hopefully you will see it as an eye-opener as much as they have, okay? So today we're gonna talk about why it's such a powerful concept, where you find your two ticks, the indicators we use to find the two ticks, some trades taken today. Actually, we didn't get the video from today, so we have the other day. But I have some trades that we took the other day. We're going to talk about the two-tick challenge. We've got some special offers, and then we're going to preview the Essential Add-on Suite downloader. Okay. This is very similar to the Market Replay Data downloader at marketreplaydata.com, but it's integrated within NinjaTrader 8, so you don't actually have to leave NinjaTrader 8 to use this. So we're going to show you all of that and maybe a couple other things at the end, okay? And here's just a little quickie. We got another event Saturday. If you want to make sure you sign up for this, if you're here right now in this event, you're already registered. If you're watching this on video, go to that registration page down here at the bottom and register for Saturday's event. Even if you can't attend, you need to go ahead and register, so we'll get you that video replay emailed over to you. What we're going to do on Saturday is take a lot of what we talk about today, and then I'm going to show you how intuitive it is to trade what we're going to talk about today, okay? And how easy it is to just take a very step-by-step linear approach to decision making, okay? So it's all yes or no decisions. There's no real shades of gray. So I'm going to teach you how to do this on Saturday. Okay, now, many of you come here with preconceived assumptions expectations. You think you know what it is that you're trying to accomplish. You think you understand what trading is, but you just can't seem to get a handle on it, right? It's like that greased pig contest where you see the kids out running around trying to tackle a greased pig. A lot of times trading feels that way to us. You know, as soon as we think we have it, it slips away from us. So I want you to adjust your perspective. And here's what I mean by that. You know, a lot of times we look at a picture, we look at something, and we think we understand it. We think that we know what we're seeing. So, for example, here's a picture of a Rubik's Cube sitting on a piece of paper that's sitting on a table, right? Everybody knows what they're looking at here, so we could just take it at face value that that's what it is. But when you slightly change your perspective, the entire thing changes. You get an aha type of a moment. And a, oh, isn't that cool type of a moment. When you realize that what you thought you were seeing isn't what it was at all. This is what I'm going to ask you to do for the next hour or so, okay? Just allow yourself to adjust your perspective a little bit. I know this may seem like something so completely different to you, but please just be patient, and maybe you'll get the same aha that a lot of our other traders have gotten from this particular presentation. Okay, so everything that we're going to talk about started when I was a struggling trader. Okay, I have been through the ringer. I spent 7 years struggling. Every time I felt like I got a little traction, I would lose that traction and then some. Okay, but by and large, everything to do with trading was emotional for me. I would start getting emotional. A lot of this is in hindsight, but I would start getting emotional when I got out of bed in the morning. And the emotion was not necessarily bad. It was the excitement of the potential. It was like walking up to a craps table in Las Vegas. It was exciting because of the potential, even though I had a pretty good idea that the odds were against me and I was going to lose. But I was excited. So I'd sit down, I'm excited about the potential, and I'd figure out some way to enter a trade. Now, of course, back then, everybody says you got to be a trend trader, right? And so everything I read said I needed to be a trend trader, and so that's what I was doing, was trying to follow trends and follow trading systems that were trend-based, and counter trend or any of that was a bad word. So I felt like I needed to do that too, because that's what everybody was telling me, right? So I now look at this type of trading that I was trying to do as a real emotional roller coaster, and I was a small lot trader. I never got good enough at anything or consistent enough at anything to feel like that I could add more contracts. Of course, I did sometimes because I got desperate and I needed to make a lot of money to get back money that I had lost. But trading for me was the emotional roller coaster of trying to ride a trend, the ups and downs of a trend, the hoping, the doubt, the panic, the anger, the excitement, the thrill, the anguish and agony, and finally just giving up, all to try to make a few bucks with my single or small lots. Okay? Nobody ever told me, and I learned this in hindsight. I wish somebody had told me. Some of the people I entrusted with my money that for whatever trading system I was using at the time or whatever trade room I was using at the time, nobody ever told me that it's nearly impossible for a single or small lot trader to ride a long trend like this and make consistent profits. Okay? I finally got a guy to admit to me after I put his feet to the fire, after talking to him for over an hour, that I was paying a lot of money per month to be in his trade room. He finally said, yeah, well, you can't really make a whole lot of money or any money unless you're trading multiples and scaling. Well, why didn't he tell me that months before? Okay, so as it turns out, and in hindsight, I learned that statistically, you will not succeed in overcoming your emotions. It's not going to happen. Although you can try, and please try. What happens is we can do it for a while, but eventually they all come flooding back in, right? So I failed so bad at this, I decided, well, I can't. I just can't do it. I can't. I can't manage my emotions. At first, I felt like if I failed at managing my emotions, I failed at trading. But then I started thinking, when I was struggling as a contractor, and my strength as a contractor, construction contractor, was problem solving. And it never occurred to me to solve the problem of trading. I kept looking for somebody to give me the answer rather than me starting from what I knew and start trying to solve the problem. So this is when I decided, okay, I have a problem with my emotions or managing my emotions. And I've worked and worked and worked and worked at trying to manage my emotions, and it's not going to happen. So what else can I do? Well, I can quit, which I almost did, or I can figure out a way to keep emotion management or the need for emotion management to a minimum. So one day I'm just sitting and I'm daydreaming, probably staring at charts, because I know we all do a lot of daydreaming when we're staring at charts. And I started thinking of a different way to look at what it was I was trying to do. And it occurred to me, I was sitting there and I was messing around, and I would say, okay, right now I know price is going to do this, at least a tick or two. And more times than not, I was right with a tick or two. Okay? And I started thinking, if I could be guaranteed those couple of ticks, and I've asked a lot of people, and I'll ask you, but I'm not reading the chat, so feel free to say whatever. But as you watch a chart, and if you've been watching it for a while, and you're watching other people trading, and you see certain conditions develop in the market, don't you have a pretty good idea that you could find an edge, or at least something that where you feel confident that you could get one or two ticks every day? So I started considering that. And I started thinking, okay, well, of course I know there's nothing guaranteed, but if I could be guaranteed, what would be the limits to my income? What would be the factors to limit my income? And maybe the size of my trading account and how many days I could trade if I were guaranteed. Again, I know there's no guarantees, but this was an exercise to get me away from this emotion management issue and more about bringing it in so I don't have to manage my emotions. Okay, so remember, this is an exercise. This isn't how to get rich. Okay, this isn't how to suddenly take two ticks and make a living. What does two ticks get you? It might get you a hamburger, or a box of donuts, or some coffee, or some Alka-Seltzer. If you're thinking that way, if you're thinking dollars, if you're thinking money, that's what 2 ticks is going to get you, and nobody's interested in that. But if you're interested in becoming a successful trader, what does 2 ticks get you? 2 ticks starts to build confidence. Right now, most of you have no clue if you can be a winning trader. You may have had some successes. You may have actually gotten to a point where you go, okay, I got this now. I've had 2 weeks of winning trades. I've got this. And then in 3 days, it's gone and you're back to where you were. The trick here is to see if you can end the day as a winner. You've got some work to do. A lot of us have work to do. We have emotional work to do. We have baggage that we've developed. A lot of us have developed this baggage in trading. So what you want to do is see if you can win 2 ticks. And you're going to find out. At first you're going to go 2 ticks. But you're going to find out that you spend the rest of the day not having that I just got kicked in the gut feeling. It's not about money. It's about winning. Now, see if you can do it 2 days in a row. See how you feel after the second day of having a winning day and a third day. Have you ever had 10 winning days in a row? We have them all the time. So see how many days in a row you can do it, or how many days in a month. Just 1 tick. I mean, do 1 tick or 2 ticks. Learn to become a consistent trader and then grow from there. Okay? All right. Again, I'm going to ask you to hang in here with me. This is a fun story, and it's really important where I'm headed. So hang in here. This is a story about Bill and the Rusty Clubs. Okay? So when I was in my early 20s, I lived in a townhouse. Across the street from me was an old guy. I think he was like 79, 80 years old. Name is Bill. Super nice guy. We were having a garage sale one day, and he noticed I had a bunch of golf clubs. I was, I was in my early 20s, and I was working out and just all full of myself, and had myself some nice shiny golf clubs and a nice bag and new shoes and the golf attire and all of the whole thing. So Bill says, "Oh, you play golf?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm trying. I'm working at it." And he says, "Well, I'd like to play golf with you sometime." And I'm thinking, "Oh gosh, this guy can't even stand up straight." So, but he was a nice guy, and I said, "Okay, I'll do that." And so he said, "Okay, well, let's go out tomorrow," or whatever it was. I'm like, "Oh boy, okay." So he took me out to I was used to going to some nice golf courses, and he took me out to this municipal golf course where there wasn't much grass. But Bill got in the car, and when we went to head out there, and I got all my big bag and my shiny clubs, and Bill gets in the car with 3 rusty old golf clubs. That's it. 3 golf clubs. Not even in a bag. He's just carrying them, and he bought them at a garage sale 20 years before then. Okay? And I'm like, "Oh, geez, come on. Oh, what a waste of my day. This guy's got nothing." So we go out to the golf course, and we get up to the first tee. And by the way, this is not that golf course. It was pretty rough. But so we got there at the golf course, and I step up to the tee. Bill's a gentleman. He says, "Okay, you go first." I said, "Okay." And I got up there, and I absolutely crushed the first drive, because everybody knows that when you're good, you get up there and you crush it like what you've seen the pros do on TV. So I crushed it, and my drive went 2 fairways over and landed in the trees. And so off I went looking for my golf ball over in the trees. And then Bill gets up there with his 3 rusty golf clubs, and he goes ahead and he just takes his first shot. And he hits a chip shot, just straight down the fairway. Nothing major. I'm still dorking around out there in the trees, and Bill decides, well, I'm just going to go ahead and take my next shot. So he just hits it straight, punches it up the fairway. I finally find my ball, and I slam it, and it goes into the next group of trees. Bill puts his up on the green, and then I'm, you know where this is going, right? Then I'm over in the sand trap. Bill puts it in the hole. He's waiting for me. He's being the nicest guy. I'm crushing. I'm hitting it as hard as I can. I'm doing everything I know how to do. And after about 10 shots, I get it in the hole. This went on all day. Not once did Bill try to nail it down the fairway. Not once did he grunt when he's swinging. Everything was smooth and easy and small. So what did I learn from Bill? Seemed like there were a lot of lessons there. I didn't learn anything. I was 20-something years old. I didn't learn anything. I was just frustrated at myself rather than paying attention to what the lesson was going on there. I've seen golf on TV. I know how it's supposed to be done. I've read golf books, and I had a subscription to Golf Magazine. And here's how old I am. I rented VCR tapes about golf, so I could learn all that I needed to know about golf. So I know from my personal observations that I needed to be doing those things that I was doing on the golf course. I needed to be good at those things. That's how you're good at golf. That's how you get so good at golf, you can make money at it. So nobody asked me, why are you trying to learn golf? And, well, I want to be a millionaire. So 30 years later, what did I learn from Bill? Nothing initially. But the first thing was get good at doing something simple. That's all he did. He never needed to figure out how to hit it 300 yards down the fairway because he could hit it straight, short and straight. You don't need to be fancy to be good. He didn't even have the golf shoes on. He was wearing tennis shoes. Quality beats quantity. I had all the muscle in the world. He just knew how to hit it straight. Don't try to do what the pros do. I tell you what, if you put a camera on me and didn't actually show where the ball went, I looked as good as the pros. I had a nice looking swing. I looked the part. As long as you just didn't watch where the ball went, I was a great golfer. So Bill wasn't real interested in big potential gains. He was just wanted to be consistent. Consistently hit it straight. I think I was like I had like a 130 that day, and he was like a 78. It was just horrible. It was horrible. So that potential, when I stepped up on the tee and I just crushed it, the potential was a 300 plus yard drive getting me closer to the hole. That was the potential gain. The potential loss was huge, and I suffered it every time. I way overcomplicated it. I was not patient, particularly after hitting it in, where I didn't want to hit it. And it's more about what's in your head than what's in your hands. Okay? So there's a lot of lessons right there in that one story, and I can apply them to everything I've learned about trading. And this is where the 2 ticks came from. Start with the basics of a simple trading system, something that's real easy to do, that doesn't have too much information, that's very straightforward, has a step-by-step qualifying process. One thing happens, then the next, then the next. We happen to know one, by the way, and I'll tell you a little bit about it today, and then we'll go into more detail on Saturday. So then the idea is, let's win 2 ticks net for the trading session. 2 ticks. That's it. Then you're done with the trading session. You quit trading live and continue trading in sim. And then the goal is to see how many consecutive days you can end the trading session as a winner. 2 ticks. That's it. You hit your goals over time, and let's raise that to 3 ticks. Okay? You are going to be developing skills along the way. You are going to be developing confidence and consistency along the way. Then you're going to repeat the process and eventually increase the number of contracts. This is how we all get good at things, at any things that we ever get good at. So how many ticks do you need? It's up to you. Making assumptions of the fees, you got, and let's say $10 a tick and $4.75 round turn for the fees. I mean, it's up to you. How much money do you need to make? You look at this and you go, well, why have I been trying so hard to take 1 or 2 contracts and get 50 ticks when it's just killing me inside because I can't manage my emotions? What if I did something small, simple? This, what I was doing was causing me to have to stay and keep my money in the markets for a long period of time. My few contracts that I was trading, I had to stay in the markets for a long period of time. And the longer you're in the markets, the more speculative the trade becomes, the more the big money's likely to take my money from me. So they want me to be in the market for a long time. If I'm in and out, they don't have much opportunity to take my money. All right? So here's a faulty assumption that we all come into trading with, or most of us. There's so many of them. That's why I said 617. There's so many faulty assumptions that we're trying to build trading careers on. Faulty assumption number 617. Trading is all about numbers. I'm good at numbers, and therefore I'm going to be good at trading. Okay, so we can all agree that trading involves a lot of math, right? A lot of algorithms. And that charting is built on numbers. And so we all know that numbers are a big part of it. But have you ever thought, well, what are the numbers for? Well, the numbers initially you think are to judge what the market is likely to do next. The market, right? So the numbers are going to help us read historical data. What is that data? What are these numbers trying to help us read and understand? It's trying to help us read and understand people's emotions and feelings about price at a particular point in time. That's all these numbers are doing, and then they're helping us to try to analyze at different points in time, when do people thoughts, feelings, and emotions affect price. That's it. That's all that we're doing with all these numbers. Because it's very difficult to quantify a group of people's thoughts, feelings, and emotions. So if you look on an average day, how many thoughts, feelings, and emotions are going on in this group of people? How many combinations of thoughts, feelings, and emotions are going on? As a group, how can I tell what they're likely to do next? I mean, and how can I tell to the point where I have a decisive edge of being able to tell what they're likely to do next? So how many combinations of thoughts, feelings, and emotions are going on in that picture right there? And that's a relatively small group of people. Millions of potential combinations of thoughts, feelings, and emotions. Now, am I supposed to try to figure out where I might have an edge understanding as a group thoughts, feelings, and emotions that they're having? That's what we're trying to do in trading. All right? Everybody understand that? So let's look at this another way. Look at this picture. How many thoughts, feelings, and emotions, or combinations of thoughts, feelings, and emotions are going on here? There's probably only a few, right? Fear of injury, protect from harm, right? I don't have to sort through all of the millions of thoughts, feelings, and emotions to try to figure out what's going on. If my edge was when their hands go up, and I could see all their hands go up to protect themselves from harm, if the question was, what do they do next? I have a really good chance of being right. Okay? This is exactly how you get an edge in trading. I have a really good idea. There's no video of this. This is just a still image, but I know what they all did as soon as the danger passed. They all put their hands down. That's all I need to know. So there's my edge. So we've applied that to trading. Complex algorithms make my head hurt. I don't understand them. I don't know how to write them. It's fascinating and interesting if you want to approach trading like a hobbyist. Fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Fascinating numbers, trying to use numbers to figure out people's thoughts, feelings, and emotions. I'm more into kind of people watching, the way that the pit traders used to do it. Kind of like poker, except we don't have the ability to see people face to face anymore. So we have to kind of do what they did in the old days and read the tape, right? And see who's doing what. So thinking about this whole thing, I started thinking, well, so where can I find something where, for whatever reason, everything stopped and changed directions? What if I could figure out what was going on the bar or bars just before price did something, reverse directions? It stopped cold in its tracks and headed the other way. So I started measuring the bars, and every piece of data I could figure out that was inside that bar or previous bars to give me some sort of a heads up that there's information coming into the markets that's suggesting some weakness and the price is going to turn. And that's the same thing I was thinking of when their hands go up, the people's hands go up. All right? So ultimately, and I don't know if all of you know this, but we won an award, a couple of awards Um, they quit giving out the awards. This was the last year of these awards. Um, but because these things work so good, we did win a couple of awards. Anyway, so I started looking at predicting a pullback. Now, why the pullback? Well, remember, I wanted to get out of the market as fast as I can. So yeah, I expect trends to continue. I don't know it's going to continue, but just like trend traders, you're going to expect it's going to continue. So I started looking at that pullback thinking, well, there's where I feel really strongly that with the right information, I can do that 2 ticks. So this was kind of an aha for me. It's a new perspective. It was a more clear understanding of what I wanted to try to do to create a winning trading system. See, that was the first thing. I wasn't looking for a trading system to make a lot of money. First, I wanted to find a trading system that was a winning trading system. Okay, so rather than anticipate what a large crowd of traders is thinking over a longer time frame, what if I just try to anticipate what a crowd is going to do immediately after a sudden and unexpected event? So when you see a chart that looks like this, I see a crowd reacting to a stimulus in a predictable way, and I know what they're likely to do next. Okay, Richard Wyckoff, father of volume spread analysis, he also was, a big-time trader. Had started a magazine that's still going today about trading. The study of responses is an almost unerring guide to the technical position of the market, and that's exactly what we're doing. We're looking for responses to conditions. Okay, so if you look at this, first thing that we want to see, we're looking for weakness, right? We want to see weakness. Now, how do you see weakness? You measure strength because, as we know in the markets, strength cannot be sustained. You look at any trend, there's always a pullback. There's always areas of weakness. So if you look for strength, then you know weakness is inevitable. So we're looking for this strong momentum. Then we're looking for an upthrust bar, this real high velocity bar. Then we're looking for exhaustion to be set in. And when that happens, we have that sudden and unexpected event that causes people to act predictably every single time. Okay? So let me show you what this looked like the other day. This is what we do in the trading room. All right? I know you guys like to see charts. So this is our trading room charts. This is live trading. This is our people in our trade room. Let's see how I make this bigger. It's kind of blurry because our video recorder does pretty low resolution because we record the entire trading session and then we store every single trading session. So the files get really big. So it's a little bit blurry, but it's okay. This is a speed tick trade setup. Okay, what did I just say? This is just the other day. So we're pushing up here. Hard push. You can tell that this is our momentum indicator. The bar is going from black to gray to a light gray. We have a major line of resistance. We have what we call our speed tick, and we have our velocity indicator. We are also oversold, the pink outline. All of these are a confluence of information suggesting that we have a lot of strength, but the weakness is inevitable. And we're looking at this right at a major line of resistance. So right here, if I can drag this over, right there, my conditions were met for a trade. So right here, I went short. And I don't need a lot. I just need a little. I just need a few ticks. Okay? That was all I needed. That's my edge. That's my edge. I was in and out and done. I put my money back in my trading account where it was safe. Now, if that was you, you could end up and you could walk away as a winner until you get really, really good at it. Here's our Rockstar. Rockstar trade setup. This is really kind of hard to see. I bought it on the open of this bar. Up it went. Okay. Notice the strong push. Notice the black bars. Notice that this blue outline is it's oversold. This speed tick says that the trades being processed are faster than most retail traders could possibly process trades. So that means it's most likely a manipulated bar, meaning the big boys, the smart money, the HFTs, the quants, the hedge funds, whatever, are mechanically placing these trades so fast, and they're being processed so fast, they're leaving kind of a footprint. So we could tell that this bar is likely manipulated. And you go, well, why did they manipulate that bar? So that we would do this. Okay, I'm going to talk about this star right here in a few minutes. That's our rock star indicator, brand new. Okay, here we go again. Look, conditions. Strong push. Oversold. That's the blue outline. Speed tick. Rock star. Boom. That's all I need. That's my sweet spot. In, out, done, relaxing, no stress, no emotion management. It's done. All right? And I could just show you these over and over and over again. That's all there is to it. That's why I say this is a very simple trading system. If you want to get good at winning trades and ending the day as a winner, start with something simple. Okay? The big money manipulates the markets every day. They know what we're likely to do next. And they create these events that cause us to do that. Okay? Generally, it's the HFTs or the quants. Now, we get a lot of questions. Well, how do they work? Well, there's lots of different ways. But in short, here's a quick summary of what's going on. Okay? We've got areas of accumulation. It looks like nothing's going on. Okay? Then this is when the big boys are buying up all of the available assets of whatever the instrument is at a lowest price they can. And they do it very quietly, very stealthily, so nobody knows, right? Then we get they're going to mark it up. They're going to do the things they do for this little markup, and then they're going to do this a little bit more accumulation. Then they're going to do what they do to run it up. Now, they bought most of it down here and here. They've run it up, and now it's up in here. Now they start slowly selling it off. This is where they make their profits, right? But they're not done. They still hold the larger portion of the assets, so they can still manipulate it, run it up, then dump all their assets on, which drives the price down. Okay? And I've got webinars on this that explains it in more detail. If you want to send Connor an email, he'll send them to you. So what we're looking for is these upthrust areas where the pullback happens. Okay? This is what we're after. Now, we've built some tools to help us understand when this is going to happen, where we can read the underlying weaknesses in every single bar. Okay? Now, here's two identical. If you're just looking at a trading chart, you'll see a bar like this, and you get 4 pieces of information when you look at this bar. High, low, open, close. right? But there's a lot more that went into building these two identical bars. For one, the ticks coming in may come in at a relatively steady rate to build this bar. Okay, just nothing real special going on. We call that a no churn bar. Nothing about that bar draws our attention to it as being as something specific is inevitable. Something is likely to be happening soon. Let's take that same bar and let's look at how the ticks come into that bar. Looks a lot different. Watch above the bar. We're getting an area of churn where the buyers and sellers are now really putting in a lot of orders and they're fighting with each other. What happens here is that the buyers get exhausted. The sellers have been laying in wait. And we get a churn bar. The churn bar tells us there's underlying weakness inside that bar. And the weakness is with the buyers, not the sellers. Okay? So this is based on volume spread analysis. It's measuring strength and weaknesses of individual bars. All right? This is one of the ways we determine when exhaustion is setting in so we can anticipate that sudden and unexpected pullback. Okay? So we trade pullback trades, right? So this is very typical what we're looking at. We've got a pullback occurs when price reacts to an area of support or resistance up in here. We're looking for price to bounce off of this, okay? So we're looking for a hard push into this line. It can certainly test the other side, and then it opens above, okay? So we're looking for this bounce here. That's what we're looking for. So we're measuring these bars, every tick, to get some information that suggests that this is inevitable. All right, and this is a confluence of indicators suggesting that. All right, I'm going to talk more about this on Saturday. I'm going to tell you how to trade this on Saturday. Now, we've taken a bunch of these indicators and we've actually created a new indicator called the Rockstar. The Rockstar's got several of those indicators in it, so you know if you're inclined to just want the signal, we've got the Rockstar indicator for you. So inside the Rockstar, we've got the speed tick indicator. Remember, the speed tick is the one that's telling us when the orders are being processed through the market so fast that it's highly unlikely that retail traders are trading those, are processing those trades. So that's these little white arrows. That we also have other colors, blue ones. And we'll tell you more about that later. So we've got our speed tick indicator. We've got our divergence indicators. Now, divergence is something that's become more and more important with our pullback trades. The interesting thing about divergence, when you see price and momentum in agreement with each other, that's typical with how the markets generally run, okay? When they get out of agreement with each other, this is divergence, okay? So when price is setting new higher highs, but momentum is setting new lower highs, they don't agree with each other anymore. So the interesting thing we've noticed about that, with our divergence algorithm, which I've never seen one better, is that when they get out of sync, price will almost always try to catch up with momentum, okay? So you notice it happened right here. The next thing that happened was price dropped. It didn't continue to go up. So this is our divergent condition. So we've got a number of different divergence indicators. Okay, so we've got our Super D that's got 7 different divergence indicators inside just that one indicator. Now, typically, if you go out and you get a divergence indicator, you're going to see something like this. First of all, it takes up a lot of space on your chart. Second of all, when you have other indicators on it, it's hard to distinguish between the lines. Third, it prints backwards and usually after several bars. Okay? I found them to be absolutely worthless. Plus, a lot of times you make mistakes reading divergence this way. So we decided to quit doing it that way, and instead we created our divergence indicators that tell you a yes or no. Remember I said we make yes or no decisions. Yes, we had divergence here. Yes, we have divergence here. Yes, we have at least one level of these divergences here. We have 3 levels of these divergences here. All right? So we got these awesome divergence indicators that are also inside the Rockstar indicator. I'm sorry, Connor, I don't know what that means. All right, so we also have our ricochet indicator, which is kind of like, it comes from the speed tick, but it's more information that we gain from the speed tick, but it's showing some potential weakness. Excuse me. We've got some major lines of support and resistance we call our FT reset. We actually have some relative strength numbers at the end of the lines to help us determine how strong we can expect those lines to be. That OBOS, that overbought, oversold indicator that I showed you that's got the pink outline, if we didn't have that, we would have to have this oscillator at the bottom of the screen. Now, all we really want to determine, we have this oscillator at the bottom of the screen. All we really want to do is tell us when the oscillator has exceeded its extremes, right? So we don't need all this other information. It's just information that's taken up screen space. I want to know yes or no. That's it. Give me yes or no, and then I can make the decision better on how to enter a trade. And if I want to enter a trade, don't give me a percentage of yes or no. It's yes or no. All right, so when price is overbought, it looks like that. And it's right where your eyes are looking anyway. You don't have to look anywhere else. If it's oversold, it looks like this. Remember, I'm going to go over this more on Saturday. So the speed tick indicator is the OBOS, the speed tick, and the Super D, which also has the Flash and McDiver in it. And this is what it, those are the differences here. Oops. So on the left, you have a basic chart. In the middle, you have our regular indicators, and on the right, you have the Rockstar. So I'll just zip through this real quick. You'll see how this was a trade setup. That's a trade setup in the middle. Or you could just use the Rockstar on the right. Okay, and another one. So this combined gave us this. Okay, this combined gave us the Rockstar. All right. Getting close to the end here where I can take some questions. All right, so I'm going to give you the 2 tick a day challenge, right? Take the challenge. Trade for 2 tick winner. Stop trading live. Continue practicing in sim. and then record how many successive days you do that, or how many days in a month. As you do that and you get better and better and better, increase the number of lots traded. This has helped a lot of people, and a lot of people have turned their trading around using this method. All right, so don't forget Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time. I want to also offer you guys a free week in our trade room. There's a link right there to get to the free link, or you can just go to our website up at the top. In the menu bar, you'll see trade room. Click on that, and then you'll see a little link to get a free trade room week. All right, so we have special offers for you. We've got our pullback bundle, which is everything that I talked about today, plus the Rockstar. So those are all the indicators that are included in the pullback bundle. We're going to also throw in, so you can kind of get comfortable with using them, we're going to throw in the 1 month in the trade room. Okay. Ordinarily that's $27.65. We're going to give you $277 off, or do this for $24.88. Okay. Or we also have our VIP package. This is by far the most popular. A lot of people will go straight into the VIP. We have a number of people that will kind of ease into it, do the pullback bundle first, and then the VIP. Basically, it's everything that's in the pullback bundle, plus the Rockstar, plus unlimited trade room, all future trade room indicators, the essential add-on suite, which we're going to talk about just one component of it here in just a minute. We have I mentioned a weekly group mentoring that we have called the aha moments. These are the things that I did that kind of turned my trading around, kind of start, this whole two-tick thing was part of that aha stuff that I had, and one led to another. We also have a program to help you practice your trading, teaches you how to practice your trading, and gives you tools to practice your trading so that you can actually get really good at this pretty darn fast. As long as you do the work, you do the homework, you're going to get better in a hurry. Again, this trading thing is not a lot different than other things you've gotten good at, but so many people believe it is or should be. Okay? And then we've got priority support, and then Top Step Trader will offer you a funded trading account if you pass their little combine, and there's a cost for that, and we'll sponsor you in that when you feel you're ready. Okay? You don't have to do it anytime, just do it when you're ready. So that's regularly $52.50. We're going to take $5.25 off of that and do that for $47.25. Okay. You can see the down at the bottom left is the link to the specials page. Now we got an incentive. We've got we're going to do for the first 5 people that buy a package. We're going to do a bigger discount. Okay, so if you want a bigger discount, be one of the first 5 to take advantage of the package, and you can do this whole pullback Rockstar bundle $22.88, or the VIP for $42.75. Okay. All right. Now, man, I forgot to start my Ninja. I rebooted my computer and didn't start Ninja. Let me show you, those of you that are interested in this new market replay utility. I've been using for years the market replay data downloader utility, but we've gone ahead and included it in the essential add-on suite that we're in the process of putting the finishing touches on. So this is everybody can see my you can see this, right? Before I do this, do you guys want to give me some questions first before I do this? I see that questions have been asked, but I need to, how many contracts? Wait a bit, hold on. How many contracts do you take for a single trade? For example, NQ and CL. Well, that's me, like me asking a pro what golf clubs he uses to drive at 300 yards. I wouldn't tell you to use more than one, David, until you know what you're doing. You're going to practice with a single contract. You're going to get good at nailing. See, you're thinking about money right now. And my whole point of all of this was not about money, was about getting good at doing something and then get a little bit better and then practice that and get a little bit better. Okay? You just asked me, how hard can I hit a golf ball and how many yards can I drive it? And if I use the same golf clubs as you, can I drive it that far? Get good at doing something simple and do it over and over and over again. Now, I trade multiples because I practiced. And it might be a different amount on each trade because of the way I scale my multiples and which ones get filled and which ones don't. It's never the same on every trade. Best thing for you to do, Darren, is to put the questions back in again. Copy and paste them if you have to. I'm not going to scroll back. Somebody said, oh, this is still on there. And if it can be automated, has it been back tested? Back testing doesn't work. And it cannot be because we don't use Ninja Traders plots. We use our own plots. And you can't use the strategy builder to build a strategy if you don't use Ninja Traders plots, and we don't care for Ninja Traders plots, so we use our own. Backtesting is a great fun thing to do. Funny thing about backtesting is the results you get from trading are almost never as good as when you're backtesting. So, but the other side of that is if you wanted to use the Rockstar in a strategy, you could custom code if you know NinjaScript or know a NinjaScript developer, and I know some if you wanted me to hook you up, that could take the Rockstar and use it in a strategy and build you a strategy. There is no win-loss ratio for an indicator. An indicator indicates, David, that's all it does. It doesn't win or lose. An indicator tells you when a condition exists, and you use that information to make a decision on trading. Rockstar is not a decision-making machine. It just tells you that there are conditions that exist at this point in time. If you're, I don't know, I guess you're looking for something to do the work for you or something. But in my experience, traders got to be traders. If you're trying to get the computer to do the trading for you, I haven't heard a lot of people have a lot of success with that. If the Rockstar combines several signals, why do you need all the individual components? We like to use them to give us a heads up, Norm. As I'm trading, the other individual components get me ready to place the trade. If I see a strong push, if I see an overbought condition, if I see a speed tick, it's just getting me ready so that boom, when that Rockstar comes up, I'm in the trade. In Ninja 7, yes, Kevin, there is no Bloodhound for Ninja 8, but yes for Ninja 7. Now, Rockstar and anything we developed further on um, is for NinjaTrader 8 only. Dale, Tony, how many trades have to be taken to pay for your system? I have no idea. I don't know how much work you're going to put into it, Dale. I don't know what you're expecting. I don't know if you're trading single lots, multiples. I have no way of answering a question like that. That's correct, Graham. Never, Jerry. I have developed strategies, and I tried auto trading along with everybody else back before I actually figured out how to trade. I thought auto trading was going to be the answer because then it removed me from accountability. It removed me from having to manage my emotions. It removed me from feeling like I just got kicked in the gut because I did something stupid. Okay, so I thought I was going to, here's what I thought. I thought, screw this, I'm going to get an auto trader or create an auto trader, and I'm going to turn it on and I'm going to go walk out the door and go to work. And I'm going to come home and I'm going to have this big old box of money. And that was my fantasy. That's what I thought I was going to be able to do. And I've yet to meet anybody that does that and or has ever achieved that. But it seems reasonable. Yeah, Darren, you can, yeah, that's the nice thing about what we do here. You're not locked into any one thing. You can absolutely take what we do and turn it into whatever you want it to do and still stay within the rules of what we do, okay? So you can absolutely take parts and pieces of this to create a different system. I expect that people should be using it for scaling for trend trading. Perfect thing to use for scaling if you're a trend trader. Dale, Tony, you're charging a lot of money for the system, a small trading account. You should know some examples. Of what? That doesn't make any sense. What do you want from me? What would you actually like me to say, Dale? I don't know anything about you or your abilities or your account or how hard you're going to work at this, what your expectations are. I keep listing all these things I don't know about you or anybody else. I never said that I traded Bloodhound, Jerry. We developed it for Bloodhound because our people asked us to. And it does generate trade signals. But again, what parameters are you using in Bloodhound to generate the trade signals? There's lots of different parameters that can be used to generate trade signals. Jim, you missed the point of 2 ticks. It's not to make a living. It's not to pay for the trading system. Some people get it. 2 ticks is to teach you how to trade so that you can become a successful trader and build on your successes slowly and over time. Exactly. Exactly. Slow and steady. How long is it going to take you to pay off your college debt when you become a doctor? That's the same question you're asking me, right? You've gone to college. You're now a doctor. How long is that debt going to take you to pay off? Isn't that the same question you're asking me? It's not a hard question. It's an impossible to answer question. Yeah, I like minute charts, Donna. I don't like removing time because time is very important. Remember, um, I talked about the fact that price or the charts are built really from reading people's thoughts, feelings, and emotions about price at a particular point in time. Okay, so time is very important. Yes, Darren, and I do not put in market orders, and I don't recommend. Let me qualify that. So you're asking me again how I trade. I would be, if I were you, I would say, how do beginners learn how to trade your system and then grow to do what you do? Okay, you're asking me again, what club do I use when I step up on the tee to crush it down the fairway? The better question is, what do your beginners do to start becoming proficient so they can someday do what it is that you've worked at for many years? That's different. I teach people to use a limit order only. The worst thing that's going to happen is that you don't get filled, and you're not going to take that slippage. All right? Start with nailing these limit order trades, and then when you get to trading multiples and you can scale into your trades, then you eventually start placing a series or a combination of limit market or stop market orders. And how do you do that? You practice 1 minute charts, Donna, because here's the thing. I saw you notice that I want to get in and out of the markets as quickly as possible, right? The information that's coming into a 1 minute chart is giving me the information that's coming in right now so I can make a decision on the open of the next bar, because as close to right now as I can get gives me the ability to better understand what's likely to happen right now. Okay? The further away I get from right now with the information I have right now, the further away from right now that I get, the less the less probability that that's going to happen. The lower the probability, the less I know about what's likely to happen. Okay? So I like really fast charts. Okay, Connor's saying that we've had one take advantage of the special, so there's only 4 left. All right, does everybody understand? I'm not sure that Dale or Jim is going to understand. I explained it the best that I can, but I'm not sure you guys completely understand. Let me go ahead and show you what some of you came here for, and that was to see our new Essential add-on suite. here on the, I'm not going to take this down because I know some of you are actively working with Connor on purchases. Um, so let me you'll notice that the words are gone here. So this is a new Control Center toolbar that's in our Essential Add-on Suite. So yeah, tick charts are fine. Yes, tick charts are fine. Really fast tick charts. I just like the minute charts. Been using them forever. So I'm going to go here. You'll notice I'm going to connect. Okay, so let's pretend that you're using playback. And for those of you that haven't used playback, you should be, because it's an awesome learning tool. So I'm going to hook up to playback, and I'm going to say, oh, I need data. Now, if you're using NinjaTrader to download data, you're not going to be able to. So let's go, and I'll just go to NinjaTrader. This is how you have to download data in NinjaTrader. You go to NinjaTrader's data downloader. You go down here to load. You get market replay. You select an instrument. Select a day. Notice that this is grayed out. Well, it doesn't tell you anything. It doesn't say anything. It's just like, why can't I download data? I don't know. Anybody else run into this? You just can't. Well, then you finally figure out it's because you're connected to data. So here's what we came up with instead. This is the Replay Data Manager. Here's a new Replay Data Manager from our Essential Add-on Suite. Comes right up. You can go right to selecting your instruments that you want to add to a list that you want to download. Okay, so we're just going to pick those 3 instruments. Say we want to download a few days for each of these. We'll just do what's default up there. And we'll start downloading. And you can just wait until it finishes downloading. So it's just going to go through and it's going to download them all. Notice that I'm still connected to Replay Data. I always remember I need data when I'm connected to Replay Data. I go, oh, if this doesn't have information, it's because it was probably a Sunday. There's no data on Sunday. All right, so we're downloading this data. And it's going to the proper folder to use for market replay. I'm just going to stop this so we don't have to watch the whole thing. Now, we can go up here to File Management, and rather than having to go to your file folder, you know, in Windows, we can manage the downloaded files from here. I can either go in here and delete a few files, or I can go in here and I can delete entire folders. Now I'm done, right? And I've downloaded, well, actually I only have 1 file downloaded now, but that's fine. And I'm ready to use the data. All right? So that's in our Essential Add-on Suite, along with a lot of other really cool tools. We're putting on the finishing touches on our Essential Add-on Suite. That's going to be free to all VIPs. We'll get that for free. All right. Any other questions? We're going to do a lot more of this on Saturday. We're going to answer a lot of questions on Saturday. We're going to do a lot of examples and show how we trade it. All right? No more questions. All right. Well, excellent. Thanks for coming, everybody. I look forward to seeing you all this Saturday. If not, maybe we'll see you in the trade room. All right, have a great evening.